Hey there, 4-H photographers. I just got about partway through an editing session and I realized you guys might want to follow along a little bit and see what I'm doing. So here's what I've got. I was down swimming in the morning down there at La Jolla Cove, and they've got a bunch of cormorants with little babies. Very cute. So took a bunch of pictures of the little cormorants, and here's where I am. These are some I've already edited. I got some okay ones, not great, but let's see, what do I want to do here? I want to actually, there we go, I'm going to bring myself up. Okay, got some pictures here that just aren't going to work. This one's partially blurry, the beak is just not perfectly sharp, and you guys need to look at your photos critically when you get going on this. And unfortunately, when things are not sharp, it's just not going to work as a photo. Here we go. Got a squabble going, and another squabble, and some eggs. I kind of like this one because of all the negative space. This is what we call negative space here. It's space with no texture, very little information, and what it does is it gives you a feeling of isolation. Gives you a feeling that these three seals are isolated in the world. So that's kind of cool. Here's a perch on the side of the hill. You'll notice this has kind of funny colors. I brought in a bit orange for the highlights and blue for the shadows. Kind of give orange-blue contrast. Here we have a series of two baby chicks trying to get some food out of their mom, and we'll see more about that later. This one turned out really well. This photograph I thought was going to be a total loss, and because the beak glazed in the sunlight, it worked out really well. Let me show you what the original looks like. So here you see the original photograph, and it's just really lame. And notice what I did. I rotated the whole photograph so that this beak is level, and let the rest of the photograph do what it will, because the rest of the photograph is all blurry because it's outside the focus of the depth of field. And there's the original, there's mod, and it worked out really well. So I'm kind of happy about that one. Here's a little baby chick, and this one I also rotated quite a bit. Baby chick's kind of lost there. This one was interesting when I developed it. I did the crop, and originally I had the baby chick down here. And notice what that does. The baby chick kind of goes away in your eyes. It just disappears, and what you're looking at is, oh, there's the big mama cormorant. And now what I do is I bring this up so the baby chick is at this 1/3 point. And now look what happens. Now the focal point becomes the baby chick, and mom is kind of surrounding the baby chick. And so that's what you can do by moving things around in your photographs. Okay, so this is where I am, and I'm not editing all of these. I'm only editing some of them. So let's see. Do I want to bother with that one? These are okay. Well, let's go ahead and do it. And so for this one, I'm going to try rotating this quite heavily. And notice I cut off the head. That's just not going to work. Let's see. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe it will work, because we really want to focus on that baby chick down there. And let's just go ahead and cut mom off a little bit. We'll leave mom there. See, by cutting off the head, what we do is we make that a non-entity. We don't look at it. We're going to look at that. Okay, so I did an auto exposure. I'm going to raise the color temp up a little bit. I'm going to add vibrance. Notice what happens. See, this cormorant is not really black. It's got green, blue hues. It's kind of rainbow hued. It's really beautiful. And then I'm going to add some clarity to give those feathers some texture and also bring out the beak of this little guy. And then, like we did before, I'm going to grab my my localized exposure and I'm going to highlight that little guy. Feather just a bit more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just play with the focus. I don't want to make the whole photograph dark. I want it to be obvious. I want it to just casually bring your eye in. And then I'm going to bring in the vignette to darken the corners. Remember, the vignette darkens the corners. So I'm going to try right about there. So now we have a pretty dark picture with this little bright guy in the middle. Okay. Let's see, we got same thing here. I'm going to go for an 8 by 10 and then I'm going to reset. And then I'm going to rotate. And then I'm going to bring that down. Okay. You know what? Maybe not. Go back to an 8 by 10. I'm going to bring this guy back out.
What level were you going to buy?
Notice the baby bird is down in the shadows. And I'm not even sure it's sharp. See how it's kind of blurry? When we get in close, it's kind of blurry. I didn't get a sharp picture of the baby. Mom is sharp. Baby's not sharp. Okay. I'm going to give up on that one. Get rid of that one. Okay, now I've got a whole series here of a cormorant feeding its young. Well, I had one. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. Okay, auto, white balance, auto exposure, and I'm going to crop in tight. Boom. How's that look? I'm going to rotate. See, I've got no horizontal reference, so I can rotate any way I want. And I kind of like this horizontal look for this photo. We're a little blurry because I was shooting at a really high ISO. So we're a little blurry. I'm not sure this is going to go. Let's see. Yeah, it's not bad. All right, so let's try. Give me my lights back. Add some clarity so we can get some. You know what? This guy here is just too blurry. It's just not a good photo. It just looks blurry. Okay? So much for that. And do we need another? Oh, I love this guy. Let's see if we can crop this way. This is kind of like a formal portrait of mom and the baby. How do you think about that? That looks kind of cool. Yeah. All right, then check the whites. See that little white dot? We just want to just barely get the white dot. Check the blacks. Got blacks. All right. A little clarity. Bunch of vibrance to try and bring out those greens and the feathers. Vignette it heavily so that it's like a formal portrait. Yeah, let's see. What else can we do? Want to warm it up some more? No, that's too early. See, if you warm it up a lot, you lose the blue grays and the feathers. It kind of gets ugly. Go back to auto. There we go. What if we tried some blues in the, what if we try and bring the blues up? I'm going to click on my saturation here, and I'm going to see what color that is. It says it's blue, and I'm going to increase the saturation a little bit. Yeah, that's a little over the top, but it's kind of fun. Tone it down just a little. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So that's kind of a neat family portrait. Okay, good. Now this is part of a story I have that I'm going to show you guys when we get into we get into the meeting on Sunday. This was a little story of a guy who's complaining about somebody harassing his nest. So I just did an auto white balance, auto exposure, now bringing the highlights down. See how this white bird over here just turns into a big white blob? I'm going to bring the highlights down until I see texture. I can see feathers and stuff. And then I'm going to bring the clarity up to see a little bit more texture. But see what happens with the clarity? The background gets light. I don't want the background to get light. I want the background to stay dark. So I'm going to leave the clarity down. And I'm going to bring up a little vibrance. What vibrance does is it brings up the blues. And then I'm going to bring in a vignette to darken everything but the birds. See, there's my vignette again. Okay, there we go. And now I can actually bring up my exposure a bit. Check my whites, make sure I've got some whites. Check my blacks. Okay, good. And I want to make sure that this is actually white. I'm going to do my dropper on this. And that's going to set the white balance based on the white of that bird. I want that bird to be pure white. So actually my white balance went a little more yellow. So there we have a little bit of drama going there. I'll show you the other two later. All right, notice this waterfall coming over the cliffs. It was a cloud fall. First thing we got to do, since it's a horizon photos, we have to absolutely make sure that this horizon is level. So I use my leveling tool. Boom. Do it again, double check. Could be dead level. Okay. So now it's level. Now this is an interesting photo. If I do auto white balance, it gets really freaky. It just blows up. You know what? It's kind of blown up anyways, isn't it? Look at all that grain in there. Ooh, that's just awful. Okay, let's go back to where we were. And let's see what we need to do to this. Okay. We don't want to go all the way to whites and blacks because there weren't any whites and blacks out there. Shadows aren't doing anything. Highlights aren't doing anything. Clarity's not really doing anything. Best we can do with this photo is kind of make a surreal photo, make you feel like you're out there. Nothing's real. I'm going to bring the top down a bit. Let's look at this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, nothing is real. So what else do we want to do? This is really strange. Maybe we want to just desaturate it even more. What do you think? Take our tone curve and desaturate the heck out of it? And then even more vibrance? Let's see. And then darken. you think? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yet. There we go. Okay. Good. Should we try warming it up a bit? No, that's ugly as heck. Actually, it wants to be cooler, if anything. There. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. What the heck? Okay, here's a guy showing off. Here's a male with his blue throat, and he's showing off for some hot chick there on the beach. Got him in mid show off. Okay, let's go to original. Let's go to 8 by 10. Problem is I got this guy up here in the corner. See that guy? That's a bummer. I'd really love to have gotten that out. And I thought, well, maybe I can crop it out. And let's see. How's that looking? Is that going to work? Okay. It's not quite working, is it? Let's try it. I'm going to show you something we can do here. Do you want to rotate a little bit? See, I like having that pointing at the corner. That's kind of fun. Okay, let's try that. Now what I'm going to do, see that little blob in the corner? I'm going to use what's called a patch tool. And it's going to take that corner and replace it with something else in the photograph. And if I turn H on, it's going to show you, it's going to put this piece in this area. I don't like that. I actually want some of this over here. See how it changes when I move that around? So I just find a piece that I like. And then when I'm done, you can't tell the difference. It's gone. Looks great. Okay. I'm going to vignette the corners a little bit. And then we're going to do an auto white balance, an auto exposure. And we've got this big white blob over here. I'm going to tone down with the highlights and bring up the clarity. I want to get some definition in his feathers and a good bit of vibrance because I want that blue to really pop. And let's look at our vignette. Kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, maybe bring the bottom up just a bit more. There we go. And look at those beautiful colors again, the blues and greens. That comes out when you crank up the vibrance. Okay, what else? Well, now we got a sequence again of the little guys feeding. Watch how it feeds. First, it pokes its mom in the neck. It says, "I'm hungry." And then it starts clamping its beak and saying, "I'm hungry." And this is mom over here. And mom's got food inside. Now watch, it's going to stick its beak down mom's throat, all the way down. And it's actually going to pull food from mom's stomach. See, its head is all the way down mom's neck. And it's eating food out of mom's stomach. And then they pull it back out. Whoa, oh, back in again. All the way down. Whoa. And then it pulls back out. All the way back out. And I didn't get the next shot, so you don't get to see it all the way back out. But it gets food from mom. I think actually this is dad. I think I saw some blue on the neck. Did I see some blue? Yeah, right there. This might be dad getting some food. Mom and dad both take care of the babies. And they alternate. One hangs out with the babies and takes care of them while the other one is getting food. So let's look at what we can do with this. Let's go to a 1:1 crop. And I'm going to show you a real cool thing in Lightroom that we can do. It saves you a lot of time. Let's see. Do we like that crop? Yeah, it's kind of dangerous though because it's chopping things off here. Let's go to an 8 by 10 crop. Let's see if that works better. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay. All right, auto white balance, auto exposure, kind of bright. It was a bright day. It wasn't a bright day, it was morning. I'm going to warm it up a little. I'm going to add some clarity for definitions in the feathers, some vibrance, pick up the greens. Here you can see the difference between dad and the babies. The babies still have down on them. And then I'm going to heavily vignette because it's kind of like a portrait. All right, how's that look? Pretty good? Okay, now this is cool. When I go to the next picture, I just hit previous, and it does every edit that I did on the previous picture on this picture. And so now I can just go to the crop tool and I can move it around so that it's where it was before. Pretty cool, huh? And now I can just step through these, hit previous, crop, and I can sequence these. Previous, crop, come on, come on. Yeah, it's a little slow. Why is it slow? I got my new super fast computer. It shouldn't be slow. Previous, crop. The reason why these are all wandering around is that I was not using a tripod. And if I was using a tripod, everything would be nice and steady. And I wouldn't be moving around while I was taking pictures. I was using a very heavy lens. And that really makes things hard to hold. Okay, that's kind of a cool shot. With the second baby here getting involved, that's kind of cool. I like that one. Actually going to bring that one up a little bit. And sometimes what you'll do is you'll edit a whole sequence of pictures and before picking out the one you like, because unless we're going to do a story, which we could do, unless we're going to do a story, we're going to not use every picture. Look at this. We got this bird in here in the bottom, stepped up and got in the way. Kind of ruining my shots here. Okay. Nothing to be done, though. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, is that the last one? Nope. That one's kind of neat too. Look at the second little baby in there jumping in. Might have to try this one again. Okay, that is the last one. So now we can go back here and we can look at all of them. We can see the whole sequence. Waiting for my previews to show up. So we see this picture, boom. Do, 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 do. Yeah, which one do we like? Yeah, that one's kind of neat. Doesn't have the second bird in it. That one's not bad. Got the second bird in it, we'd have to edit out. That one's kind of neat. That one's kind of neat because it shows what's going to happen. Kind of shows you kind of think, whoa, what's going on here? What's going to happen? So I'm going to actually go back here and I'm going to unpick that one. I'm going to unpick this one, this one, this one. Which of these two did we like? I like this one. I like this one. We're going to unpick this one and this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, so here's our candidates. This one, this one, this one. Yeah, those aren't bad. That was still the best one. Come on, look at this one again. Make sure it's the way I like it. Or bring down this vignette just a little more. Look at the clarity. See, we got enough clarity. Yeah, we got those feathers popping out over there. Got enough vibrance. It's not bad, not bad. Bring the shadows up maybe. Just a bit. Get more texture in these. And what do you think? Yeah. Okay, so that's our editing session. Gone through these cute pictures. Actually, here's one that's not edited. What are we going to do about that one? Do we want to bother with it? That one. That one I put on because Mom's got her nose on the beak. I don't think it's necessary, so I'm going to get rid of it. It's an extra. Yeah. Okay, here we go. That one just turned out really neat. Love that one. It's got the diagonal lines. Yeah. Beautiful colors. Here's the baby poking mom. It pokes mom and or dad. Pokes the adult in the neck. That's the sign to say, give me some food. All right, there we go. All right. Let's go back to you. All right, there we go. Thanks for visiting. Bye-bye.